Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Knights of the Squared Circle. Whether you are tuned into our live broadcast on Coyote 103, checking us out on Spotify, or tuned into the live video feed that we've got going on Facebook and YouTube. It's not live. I don't know why I said that, but we're going to pass over that anyway. Today's guest is a very, very entertaining guy. He's one of the biggest names on the Ontario independent scene. He's done a ton of different things that we're going to dive into all of that. So we're not going to waste any time by keeping him backstage. We're going to bring him right out here. The one and only beatdown from B-Town, Mr. Randy Bynoe. Randy, thank you so much, buddy, for joining the program.
Oh, man, the thanks is all from me, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm excited to be out here, excited to talk and excited to just, share everything.
Oh, and I'm excited to have you on here. I mean, you did call me small and stupid once, but I'm looking past that today.
See, that was my twin brother. Like, he was a little bit obnoxious. See, I got a lot of brothers. Y'all don't know. I was a triplet. See, that guy was the beat down for B-Town. See, he called you stupid. Like, that guy and me. And there's also the African guy, and then there's me. There's three different people.
I was willing to call BS for a second there, but I mean, that sounded pretty convincing. I'm gonna buy it.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. So I want to dive right into it. You are a name that has been very big on the independent scene here in Ontario. You have worked with some of the best promotions, some big names, and you've been trained by some of the best as well. So let's touch a little bit on your training. Was it Battle Arts? Is that where you started training?
Yep, that was where I started. Yeah, basically that's where I got my feet wet, so to speak, with everything. And it was a lot thrown at me at a short amount of time. But I was blessed to work with so many really important people and so many really, really great trainers like Yuki Ishikawa, Daryl, who better known as Hornet, who's in WWE right now, the best referee there, of course. You already know.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Anthony, George Terzis, Don Koloff. There's just so many great wrestling minds that are just like around. I was kind of spoiled right away, to be honest with you.
And I also read online, confirm that this is true or not. Did you also train with Rip Rogers, the legendary Rip Rogers?
Oh man, the GOAT himself. Oh, yeah. I got to work with Rip quite a few times, man. And honestly, just like he's an incredible mind for not just the business but for everything, and just this guy's pure entertainment, man. If you're around, you already know, man. Like, Rip is just the man.
That's awesome, man. Now, I haven't met him personally, but I've heard some incredible stories out of different people about him. So I know he's definitely a legend here in the business. Now, outside of just wrestling training, I know you've got a background in a few other forms of fighting as well, including Muay Thai, Judo, and boxing. What came first for you? Were you somebody that had the prior training and then went into wrestling, or did you have the wrestling training and then started focusing on the Muay Thai and the other?
Yeah, definitely the shoot fighting, as they say. Was kind of just something that kind of just happened. Like I got into the training for pro wrestling, but the thing about that school too is all the wrestling is basically based on shoot style wrestling. It has a lot of Muay Thai, a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of literal shoot elements involved into it. So I'd always be training in that as well to improve my wrestling, to suspend disbelief and to be able to be more crisp with the kicks, and just always just makes the performance that much better. And from dabbling into it, eventually started getting convinced. Basically, it's my coach that pushed me. He's like, you do some tournaments. You should, do this. Maybe you should try this. Because obviously, Brock Lesnar was doing his thing, and then you got guys like Ken Shamrock and all those guys that have those Kurt Angle, all guys that have the background in there. So I decided to try a couple of things, and luckily I had a lot of success.
That's
starting
awesome.
with. Thank you, man. Remember jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and especially in boxing. Boxing was where I definitely had my most success. Was Golden Gloves champion, and just I had another coach who I forgot to mention earlier, my coach Tony Wallace, amazing coach, man. He's also a kettlebell master, and I give him a lot of credit for it. Every accolade I ever got, amazing.
So on top of all these different things you've been training with, how long would you be how long did you spend training in those different elements? Were you doing it all at the same time? Like, I know you had started with wrestling, and then did you just combine the Muay Thai, Judo, and boxing and took on just an entire plate full at once, or what was the kind of the process that way?
Yeah, essentially, I'm a psychopath. I just I just kind of do. I'm always involved. I always got my hand in all sorts of different bags, and that was just kind of thing. I'd be training pro wrestling. I was training 6 days a week, twice a day. I was working full time as well, and I was training in pro wrestling and for my opponents as well. So it was definitely a lot. It was definitely very, it requires obviously a lot of discipline, a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and just and it requires a lot of focus, and it was a lot physically and everything else. But it shaped me a lot. Like it honestly was a matter of the only thing that could stop me was me, and so I kind of created the habit and just kind of dabbled in what I was doing, and I'm very fortunate to have the success I did, but it made the choices of what to kind of go in, excuse my term, balls deep in something a little bit more difficult, because it was just like, what I do here. Now this is popping off, and it's this, and it's,
It was just one thing after another, and it just almost felt natural at that stage by the sounds of
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm always multitasking, man. I can't sit still.
So you talked a bit about the mental battle there. Were you somebody that's always been mentally strong, or has wrestling really helped solidify your strength?
I like to think of myself as always being a mentally strong person. And like I said, and I think mentally, like, I think wrestling was a good practice for that, because again, it was a lot of mind over matter. The things I was doing physically, I don't think I would ever have been able to do it unless I just willed myself through it. But I think the real test of it is actually something where I went through recently that had nothing to do with, training, had nothing to do with, trying to just grind out there. It was going through, loss in my family. And, like, I don't know if I'll just segue into this, like, with, my mother passed during, quarantine. And,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, she was dealing with cancer, and that's another thing that was going on through all of this as well. I was making time for being with her and the family, and doing what I had to do for her as well during all this. And it got really bad, obviously, during this quarantine with all the restrictions going on. There are times where she'd be at the hospital, and I wouldn't be able to go be with her physically because of all the restrictions, and I have to be calling staff, and having to be in it. She'd, sometimes they'd be sending in like palliative care for her in the house and everything. And it was just a whole lot of back and forth. And I can say that I didn't miss out time with her, luckily, and thankfully I thank God for it. And that's the one thing with striving for success, that people, get caught up in. Like, it's obviously, you always want to strive for success and always want to push, but you got to understand, like, it also puts things in perspective when you're going through something like that, and that, you got to appreciate the things that you have. Certain things don't matter as much at that point, and certain things that you didn't realize matter more. And, I was very honored to, be able to spend so much time with her and be able to do so much with her. And I was blessed to have her in my life for 29 amazing years. And she's the epitome of mental strength. She was always the model of that for me, her and my father, my entire family, but especially her. She just put her head down and did what she had to do. And having that in my life, I couldn't do anything but do that.
Yeah. And I mean, it's, again, obviously it's a very tragic thing to have happened, but it sounds to me like you're able to kind of look at that and still draw some strength from your mother just based off of the kind of person that she was. So
absolutely, man. That was the first thing that really, really knocked me down. Like, it made, like I said, everything else paled in comparison. Like, I questioned everything. Like, I always had a belief in myself and in, God, and, whatever you want to call it, like, in being able to do and handle certain things. But that was a whole different thing. That was the first time I questioned literally everything. And when I say everything, literally everything, questioning if I'm just going to stop breathing in the middle of the night too. Like, just.
right.
Just,
Yeah. You just had basically your mental state at that point was going all over. It's a tragic thing to have to go through. So it was something that I can only imagine is extremely difficult to know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And that was like the first hard hitting loss for me. That's my mom. So, but like I said, I can still say what I say despite going through all that. So now I know for a fact it's not bullshit, because like, after going through that, it really put it to the test. So I'm a firm believer.
That's awesome, man. Now, I do want to touch a little bit on your career as well, because you have done some incredible things here in Ontario. Talk to us about some of the championships, the promotions. What have been some moments that you can look back on and be really proud of that you've achieved here in Ontario and any place that you've worked?
Well, I'm not going to be all cheesy and cliche with it, but obviously, like,
we're all about the cheese over here, man.
Okay, cheese. Okay, here come the cheese, brother. I've been blessed to be able to work with a lot of really good promotions. Have really, really cool locker rooms that I'll be able to, like, really, really have a good time with all those guys, and be able to just just honestly just entertain not only the fans but them and management. Like, I have people that come, like, they say, like, oh, you should do this and that, because they really, it's so a lot of the stuff I do, a lot of the ideas I have, I'll be messing around doing the locker room, and they'll be like, yo, you got to run with that, man, you got to do that. So that was also great to have that and be involved with that. But as far as the accolades, PWO, awesome promotion, able to do a lot of work with them. Barry Wrestling been very great with me. I've been Three Pistols champion over there, and soon to be heavyweight champion over there. I was doing the gimmick that Sean had over there, that Patient 705 gimmick, which was, holy crap, that was a difficult gimmick, because mans couldn't see every single time they were wearing that mask. But and also like, I mean, why'd you put me in mask? I mean, come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
look at
know I'm
that
ugly,
face.
but I ain't super ugly. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
not like this guy here, as you
Yeah,
so colorfully put out that one time.
yeah, I mean, I had to. But since I said that, you stepped up. I see you with the haircut, yo. My boy looking a little bit like,
Looking
I
a
see you
little
with,
slicker.
yeah, looking like you doing the, the whole, when you do the makeup tutorials and they hold the thing up and they do this and they show a little bit. Look like you doing that, man. I see you, man. There
I
you
mean,
go.
it's a backhanded compliment, but I'll take it nonetheless. So, of course, you've had, like I said, an incredible career here in Ontario. What are you looking to do in the future? I mean, I've stopped asking the question, do you want to get signed? I'd asked that when I first started doing interviews, and the question is always the same. It's either, of course I do, or it's, I love wrestling. So for you, what are you looking to do in your future with wrestling? Is this something that you'd love to get signed in the future, or are you just in this for the ride of life and seeing where it takes you?
Yeah, I honestly, obviously, who wouldn't want to get signed? But there's always the thing that people gotta understand. There's obviously the grass is always greener on the other side and everything. There's pluses to everything. Like I would like to get signed, but as well, like I wouldn't like all that time on the road to take away from me, like being with my family, providing for them, and to be able to see important moments in life and whatnot. And that's what this quarantine kind of put in perspective as well.
Mhm.
But what I also want to say is too, like I'm a man that just loves entertainment, period. And like wrestling is like has everything rolled into one thing that you can do everything with. But I just love entertainment. Just anything that I do like to see, where things take me. And I just love entertainment. I love being involved. I love to do all sorts of things from the acting, the wrestling, music. Just so much thing. The athletics, just like anything that like wrestling like puts it all into one that I can do all those things. That's why I love wrestling so much. But yeah, like just the ability to do that and be able to, kind of really enjoy what I'm doing because like I don't entertaining is fun. Like I think it comes natural, but is another thing when you really really enjoy what you're doing. And like I think like as long as I'm able to do that with whatever I'm doing and obviously make a living out of it,
Mhm.
it's a lot of fun. So I'm hopefully looking to do something in that regard. Like the other thing too, you remember Dark Side of the Ring?
Yep.
Yeah, got the opportunity to be
I
involved
was
in
gonna
that.
say I did want to touch on that. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
already jumping the gun on me here.
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah,
I have to, just a little jump right
there we
there.
go. So yeah, talk to us a bit about Dark Side of the Ring because I know that you got involved in that. You were one of the actors that were portraying. Who was it that you portrayed again? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Was it?
Must
It was in the New
yeah,
Jack bit, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was his tag team partner in Smoky Mountain Wrestling,
Hmm.
named Mustafa Said. And the thing about him and this character, because I knew about New Jack and I knew about the stuff that he did, but I didn't know so much about Mustafa. And if you ask me, because they're both kind of crazy, I think Mustafa is 10 times crazier than New Jack is. The stories I
Okay.
found out from doing my research on who he is and looking at the documentary itself, which is on Crave, y'all should check that out. Yep, cheap plug. It was this man. This man used to smoke pencil shavings. That's all I'm gonna say. And so,
That's all you have to say at that point.
yeah. But that being said, it wasn't a challenge for me acting wise because no one does crazy better than me. So it comes natural. So I just did all that. I did just did what it did and do what it do with the do. So
There you go. I mean, I can't keep up with that, but sure.
there you go. Man.
You also talked about the entertainment aspect there, so that's something that I know you're a huge entertainer. You are one of those guys. Not only are you massively big, but you're also very
Call
good at
me fat.
entertaining. No,
I appreciate you, brother. That
um,
quarantine weight is no joke, though.
I believe it. I believe. So you got that quarantine 15 going on.
Yeah, honestly, man, I'm still out here training every day, but it's only so much you can do without the weights. But still
Yeah.
do what you can. But
No, of course.
yeah. But as
But
you were saying,
yeah, so going back into the entertainment thing, talk to us a little bit about outside of wrestling, because I know a lot of people tuned in on Coyote 103 are thinking, okay, great, this is all about professional wrestling and being a wrestler, but you're somebody that's been able to kind of branch out and be a pro wrestler while also being a rapper, a YouTube star. I'm going to use that term as I'm sure you might not agree, but I think you're a YouTube star because the content you put out is phenomenal. You should go and check that out. We got it scrolling at the bottom there. But you've been working very hard to just build your brand, build the Randy Bynoe name, the Beatdown for B-Town. Talk to us about how that all came about. Is this just you trying to keep busy, trying to put out your art and what you feel is something that you're passionate about and enjoy?
Yeah, man. Honestly, like I just love entertainment of all kinds. Like I don't even know what I can put into a box or into a label. What I want to be, but it just all I can do is put in under the big broad umbrella of entertainment. Like I just love entertaining, and like I think there's a lot of ways to do so, and just I like being a jack of all those trades and be able to do them all well and to do them all and be able to really connect with people. And I the reason why I like it so much because like it doesn't matter what people are going through, it doesn't matter where people come from, it doesn't matter like upbringing, what have you, differences, political, culturally, like laughter is what we all in and entertainment and really like enjoying and feeling something is what something we all have in common, no matter where we are, who we are, where we come from, and just I like doing that. I like doing that with people. I'm the type that I embarrass my girlfriend all the time because I'm that dude that's in IKEA and who just be making like things off the words there. I think they had these pillows that were called mama pillows, and I was like, hey, have y'all seen my mama? She's here, and I push her on the cushion. I'm like, yeah, that's my mama. And they'd be cracking up because they'd be like, who's this big 6'6" black guy? I think he's gonna kick my ass. But I'm out here just just being a jokey guy. So I'm sure they appreciate that. So
there you go. In the spirit of joking, I got a good one for you that I annoyed the fiance with today. So if today was depressing, you should have seen 2 days ago. It was a Saturday.
I like that.
There we go.
I like that, bro. There you go. I like the Phil Dunphy stuff.
There we go. So as we kind of wrap down here, I want to talk to you about some of the big things that have gone on during this quarantine because, of course, you touch a little bit on the political side. I don't like getting too political here on the show, but one thing that has gone on is a couple of big movements, one of them being the speaking out movement, which has directly affected wrestling. How has that affected you, your relationships? Has there been any sort of change on your side with the speaking out movement that's come out, or have you kind of been fortunate and built the right relationships? Now, obviously, if there's anyone that you had to cut ties with, I know that wouldn't be something that you were aware of, but has it been a big shock to you, the speaking out movement, or was this something that you kind of thought, I'm glad it's being addressed finally?
Yeah, I've been really, really loving it. I think that it's necessary. I want to just, give my absolute respect, praise, and support to anybody that had something to come out and express. It's obviously necessary. And as you can see, there's a lot of unfortunate corruption, a lot of things. And, as being someone that's in the industry, I'm not surprised by the things that I'm hearing. And, I'm just glad for it. And I'm hoping that we as a community, and that's the thing that you gotta understand, like wrestling as a community, like there's so much that we have more in common than we have different. And I think we really gotta put ourselves as talent, first and support each other and be able to just really allow like everyone to just be able to just have fun, man. Like we got into wrestling because we love wrestling, right? Like why does it have to have all this nonsense, all this politics, all of this just only these people can do this and suppressing people and this like it doesn't need to be like this, everyone
it's a family. It's a family.
Yeah, like there's obviously the competitive aspect in it. Obviously not everyone can just hot potato the titles. That's just not realistic. But at the same time, it shouldn't be about these little things that these people want to do to just make a name off of people or to be able to keep them out of sight. Or because I've been victim to that myself. I definitely have felt the wrath of some politics and stuff. But it is what it is. Well, it shouldn't be what it is. So I'm glad, people are doing something about it, and I hope that continues.
100%. And now, of course, the other big movement that is going on is the Black Lives Matter movement. I know you've been very outspoken about this movement. What do you think? Because being a Canadian, that's got to be a bit of a difference as well, because I've heard that constant argument of, oh, there's not as much racism in Canada. Me personally, I don't think that's a true statement. I think racism, unfortunately, is alive and well anywhere you go. So with this Black Lives Matter movement, what's one thing that you want people to take away? What's one thing you want people to understand about this movement?
Yeah,
or a few things, like what is it in total, I guess, that you'd like people to understand about this movement?
Well, first of all, you're a very smart person to just to have that opinion, first of all, to know that it's that's the case. And a lot of it is just, I just want overall people just to not be ignorant to other people's experience. People are out here trying to explain things that are happening, things that they're not going out to create issues of, things that they're going through and that other people are going through. And there's statistics, there's everything that's around to, but the general thing that a lot of people do is that they just want to just dismiss everything because, oh, I haven't seen things this way, or that's not how I see things. Like people are really sharing genuine experiences here, and people got to listen and honestly not be, obviously taking everything as truth all the time, because some people take advantage of that too. But people got to be willing to listen, acknowledge, and just be able to just self-correct, because all you can do is just be able to just deal with yourself and what you see that's definitive.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything that you got to be honest with yourself and where you're saying, like, have I done these things that they're saying or that they're complaining about, or am I doing these things? And just have that honesty with yourself and try your best not to. Like, obviously there's things that the way I look at it, everyone would do the same thing that everybody else is doing if they're brought up the same way with the same, like, that's the thing, we're all the same. Like, doesn't matter, even serial killer that'll shoot a school and kill 76 people. The only difference between me and them is that I was born in this life and they're born in that life, in all honesty. Like,
Yep.
so just, you guys got to be able to listen and just be able to just understand that there's a lot of crap and there's a lot of people paying for crap that happened from a long time ago, and stop trying to dismiss the past, because the past is the future and the past is going around. It's not stuff that's happening from back in the day. It's stuff that's happening right now. Literally, racism has to do with everything. Any intelligent person knows that it has literally affected everything. And I know it's easier just to be like, oh, I don't want to hear about this now, but it's like, as exhausting as it is to hear about it, it's more exhausting for people of color and Black people to live it and have to explain it on deaf ears. It's very difficult. So, Canada, whatever country, everyone experiences racism. It's all over the place, and it's problematic in so many different ways. And it's honestly, you can argue that's even more dangerous, the type of racism that's in Canada, because it's a little bit more covert. It's a lot of microaggressions. Those people that look at me, look at my hair, or look at that. The fact that I even have to put my ethnicity in a lot of applications for things, why is that a factor? Sometimes, you can look, there's a whole lot.
I never even realized that you would have to do that. That's actually interesting to me. And one thing I wanted to touch on is throughout this entire movement, like you said, you have to be able to take a step back. One of the things that I had an issue with, originally I couldn't watch that George Floyd video that had come out for obvious reasons. It had taken a while. Once I finally did sit down and watch it, I started to do more and more research and saw just how widespread this problem really is. And obviously I still don't have a full grasp on how widespread it is. And then you look at things like this. Again, it's still learning. I had no clue that you would have had to put your ethnicity. As somebody who's white, I've never had to deal with that. And it's not something I've ever even considered. If I had to, I never thought anything of it at the time, right? So,
and that being said, you being a white person, that does not mean your life has not had difficulties. That no one's dismissing that, you've had ethnicities. The only thing that people of color want people to understand is that any issue you might have had is not as a result of your ethnicity, or it's not because of your ethnicity. And that's all that people want. Like, nobody wants handouts. Nobody wants better treatment. They just want equal treatment. And that's all it is. And so,
no, I agree with that. And it's the same thing with that argument of, all lives matter. Nobody's saying that all lives don't matter. What we're saying is you need to have equality right now. And for that to happen, we need to put a focus on the Black Lives Matter movement. So, but again, as you mentioned, racism in general needs to end. We have to understand that we're all people. We're all humans in this world. We're all trying to make a better life for ourselves. We're all just trying to live. So, Randy, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out, joining us here on the program. Before we let you go, let the people know what you've got going on. Where can they keep up with you? What do you want them to see? And if you got any insider secrets you can let us know about the future of what might be coming up, let us know.
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Ryan Knight. Y'all need to look out for him, because he's doing big things, as you guys can see. He got like probably every Funko in the back, and he said he's going to give me about 5 of them. So if he doesn't, y'all already know what to do. Spam his account. We'll talk details later. But yeah, other than that, man, I'm big on the YouTubes. I have a YouTube channel called Blackie Chan 52. Where I do a lot of comedy sketches. I do a lot of stuff with the character that I wrestle as, and as that I do comedy with, named Ite Gualu. And I do a lot of comedy sketches and roast videos where I just, make fun of things that the internet shows me. And, it's a lot of fun. I know he likes it.
I enjoy it very much so.
Thank you very much. I also do music. I'm a hip hop artist who goes by Disciple. That's my hip hop name. And I do music on SoundCloud, YouTube as well, Instagram. I have a Facebook page as well called Randy Bynoe is Wrestling. And, that's where I put all my content and everything, like it's just, everything's different. Like, I kind of want to do one thing or have one umbrella on everything, but just everything's different. I just do a lot of different things, man. Like, I
was just going to say, with what you're trying to do, like I try to do that, but all I'm doing is hosting radio shows, and it's still hard to keep it under one umbrella. You're all over the map, man. You've got wrestling, music, like you name it, you are doing as much as you can to keep out there. So again, it's incredible to hear. I love seeing that sort of passion. I love seeing that drive in a person. So again, Randy, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the program this week. And is there anything you want people to know before we let you go?
Or
Or do you want to give us a little bit of Itigualu? Maybe, I mean, I got a perfect target for you to attack here.
Really? Okay, so we're gonna bring out Itigualu. Okay, I'm gonna get yo, hey yo, so he's trying to do his papers because he don't got papers for his country. Hold on, let me get him.
Yeah. So
Charlie, what is going on over here? Listen, what are you doing over there? You're just standing and staring with your nose looking like a fork. Nonsense. I know my own nose is big, but you cannot talk about mine. We're talking about yours. Eh? You know I Pikachu in the background. Wait, it's on this side. You know why I Pikachu? Because nobody's speaking at you. No girls on your cell phone. You're not Drake. In fact, you're fake. Yes, you're holding you have corona. Why you're covering mouth? Eh? Are you coughing? Are you wheezing?
I didn't expect all of this. Can we get Randy back, man? This is going further than
he's no longer. I have his passport today. I will stay in country for him. Immigration will never catch me. Eh? Nonsense. Overused raisin bread.
Oh, I can't keep up with this character, man. It's one of the funniest that I've ever seen. I really, really appreciate you doing that.
I pull out the most stupidest random things in my head to insult people. That's why I love Nigerian comedy. They just pull out the most random. Like, how you gonna call somebody like a raisin bread? Like that's like
yeah. And you can say anything, and it honestly, it just works. It really does work when you put that accent behind it. You can call me any random verb or noun that you see in your room right now, and it's just like, oh crap, yeah, that probably checks out.
yeah, I love the off the cuff comedy.
That's awesome. Again, Randy, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we will be sure to have you back as soon as wrestling is back and running. We'll get you live in the studio, or I'll just bring the mic to you.
Awesome, man. I love doing anything with you as far as the interviews, whatever you have going. I'm like, Ryan's the man, honest to God. You know, he lets me roast him all day, which I appreciate.
All day, every day.
Yeah, all day, every day. That's right.
There you go. Awesome, guys. So keep it tuned right here tonight to the Squared Circle, and be sure to check out Randy Bynoe on all of the links you see. Where are we? Right down in there.
There you go. Yeah, right there. Check it out. Yeah, y'all check out all the music. I got music. You know, everything else. Check it out.